Everyone wants to be the reliable one, the one who shows up without being asked, the one who never cancels, never falters, never makes it about themselves, the one people call at 11 p.m. when things fall apart and they need someone, anyone, to hold the pieces together. It sounds like a compliment, and it is a compliment, genuinely, in the way people mean it. But here's what nobody tells you. There's a price attached to that identity, and most people pay it their entire lives without ever seeing the invoice. His name was Daniel. By 29, Daniel had built a reputation that most people would envy. At work, first one in, last one out. The person managers pointed to when they needed something done right. In his friend group, the one who remembers birthdays, who shows up with the truck on moving day, who listens for hours without checking his phone. And his family, the one who handles it, whatever it happened to be that week. And people loved Daniel for this. They relied on Daniel for this, deeply and without question, which felt good for a while, the way being needed always does. Because here's the thing about being reliable. It doesn't start as a burden. It starts as identity. I'm the dependable one. That's just who I am. And once that becomes who you are, it becomes very, very hard to be anything else. The role hardens around you before you realize you're inside it. What nobody saw was what Daniel was quietly saying no to. Every time he said yes to someone else's emergency, he said no to his own plans, his own rest, his own version of the evening he'd imagined. Every time he absorbed someone else's stress, he added it to a pile inside himself that he never unpacked, never processed, never set down. Every time he showed up when he didn't want to, he silently taught the people around him that his limits were flexible, that his no was really just a yes waiting to be asked the right way. And the relationships didn't get closer because of it. They got comfortable. Those are not the same thing. Comfortable means I know he'll handle it. Close means I want to handle it with him. Daniel had built a life full of people who needed him, but very few who actually knew him. Because the reliable one rarely gets to fall apart, rarely gets to say, I'm struggling with something, rarely gets to be the one in the room who needs something back. Because the moment you do, you're not reliable anymore. You become a problem, a disruption to the dynamic everyone built their expectations around. Here's what I'm not saying. I'm not saying stop showing up for people. Reliability is a virtue, and the world runs on people who mean what they say. What I'm saying is this. There's a version of reliability that comes from genuine strength, and there's a version that comes from fear of disappointing people, fear of what they'll think if you say no, fear that without your usefulness, you're not actually worth keeping around. That second version isn't reliability. It's a performance, and the cost of that performance is staggering. It costs you time, energy, and the relationships where you actually get to receive something. Eventually, it costs you the version of yourself that existed before everyone else's needs became your entire identity. Daniel didn't realize any of this until he was 34, until a therapist asked him one quiet question. When is the last time you let someone take care of you? And he couldn't answer. Not because he didn't want to, but because he genuinely never let it happen. He'd always deflected, always said, I'm good, always redirected the conversation back to the other person, because that's what the reliable one does, until they burn out, or slowly disappear, or quietly begin to resent every single person they ever said yes to. The hidden cost of being the reliable one? You become everyone's answer, and no one's priority. Think about who in your life is always the one who shows up, and ask yourself honestly, when did you last show up for them?